Chris the Nightmare Ariel, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, so this was a very, very good cruiserweight fight, in my opinion. Now, the judges, they gave the fight to Gassiev. One judge had it 116, 112. Gassiev, another judge had it 116, 111 for Gassiev. And the other judge had it for Lebedev, 114, 113, all right? I'm going to go round by round how I scored the fight and how I was looking at the fight, and I'll give you who I thought was the winner of the fight. But round one, Lebedev came out. He was throwing a jab. We know he fights southpaw, so he was throwing the right jab. He was landing some good hooks and a nice little straight left to the body. I thought Gassiev was also pumping out his jab. He was working out the high guard, landing a good right hand that round. Lebedev started to walk Gassiev back a little bit in the first round. He wasn't hurting him, but it just backing him up. And he was controlling that round with his right hand, whether it was out of a lead hook or it was just a jab. So I gave that round to Lebedev. Round number two, sorry. I gave that one to Lebedev also. He was throwing combinations. He was circling to his right, which would be Gassiev's left. Obviously, you want to circle away from the right hand, but that got kind of interesting as the fights went on, him going to the left. But and in that round, I thought Gassiev was trying to just pick his spots for him to be the much younger guy. Obviously, the bigger, the bigger, rangier guy. With the youth, you thought that he would be a little bit more active with his hands. It's like he was trying to pick his spots too much in the fight, in my opinion. I thought he should have been even more active. Treat the old guy like an old guy. Although it's a good old guy, you know what I mean? Lebedev's a good fighter, but still, though, you want to just treat him like he's the old guy by picking up the pace and making him fight at a much quicker pace and fight in spots where he doesn't want to fight, when he wants to rest. All right, but I gave that round number 2 to Lebedev, okay? Round 3, I gave round 3 to Gassiev. In that round, though, Lebedev was having some success. I thought that Gassiev was letting him do both. I wrote down because I'm reading my notes. What I mean by that is he was letting him lead and he was letting him counter. I mean, he wasn't letting him, but that's what was happening. And you can't let him do both. Either he's going to be a counter puncher that night against you, or you have to walk him down. But you can't let him do both, man. You can't allow him to fight you off his back foot, moving and circling and ducking under shots and come forward and initiate. That was happening for a small portion of the round, in my opinion. And then I thought that Gassiev started to bring right hands behind his jab. The first 2 rounds, he was just jabbing, but he wasn't being active enough for me. He wasn't throwing nothing behind it. He was just jabbing. His jab was pushing Lebedev back. It's a powerful jab. It's not just a flicking jab. He's stepping in with that damn jab. You could tell he's stepping in looking for a home with the right hand. All right, but I gave Gassiev round 3. Round 4, I gave to Lebedev. Thought he did a good job of countering and slipping and leading with the right hand and with his jab. His jab he was using also too. He would step in with his jab and make it count too. All right. Gassiev was doing a good job of cutting off the ring, but he just wasn't throwing enough. He wasn't throwing enough. Like, it was almost like the body language was going to Gassiev because he had the high guard up. You could tell he wasn't getting hurt. He was just coming. And when I mean getting hurt, he wasn't getting buzzed or rattled. Obviously, him getting hit by Lebedev doesn't feel good, but he wasn't visibly hurt or shook up by it. He didn't get huge. He didn't start swelling in the face or getting cut, any of that. He was taking it and he was just coming forward and landing his jab and finally start to throw some right hands. He was throwing a few right hands, but I gave Lebedev round 4, okay? Round 5, big round, big round for Gassiev. He lands a hook to Lebedev's side. He lands a good left hook, which was, obviously the direction that Lebedev was circling was away from the right hand, but then he gets hit with a hook to the body. And after that hook to the body, Gassiev started to find a home for that left hook. You can tell that Lebedev, he was putting down the elbow to protect his side. He was not trying to get hit again with that left to the body. I thought that would later bring a nice left hook upstairs, but Gassiev really didn't do that enough in my opinion. You know, and Lebedev's a smart fighter. That's where the experience comes in. He knows if he's getting hurt to the body, eventually something's going to come upstairs. That's why he stayed on the move. He stayed with a nice tight defense, and he stayed shielded up pretty well, in my opinion. But I gave round 5 to Gassiev, gave that round to him 10-8. All right. He was also landing some good jabs. A jab that hurt Lebedev too. He stepped in with a nice good jab that hurt him. All right. So round 6, I gave to Lebedev. Now, of this round, because I watched this one time, I got the stream. Somebody linked me the stream, and I missed the first minute of this round 6. But from what I've seen, because I just had my head turned on the on this round, on round 6, man. But I caught it right at the 2-minute mark. It was 2 minutes left in the round, and from what I seen, I gave it to Lebedev. All right. This is a round where this started to remind me of kind of Cotto Margarito. For those of you that have seen that fight, where, again, just with the body language, like how Cotto was throwing combinations, circling, boxing beautifully, stepping in with some good hard counters. But just viewing it, you had the feeling that, okay, like Margarito, you thought that Gassiev would, you know, he already got the knockdown with the body shot. You just had the feeling that sooner or later he's going to just physically just out-muscle, out-hustle, and land good right hands and left hooks on Lebedev and get him out of there. That's the feeling I had. Kind of like I thought, you know, Margarito, what he did to Cotto, where eventually he just caught up to him and cut him off and just beat him down. But Lebedev, man, he was doing more than just surviving. He was making punches count, good combinations. He was outworking the younger man. I just couldn't believe how Gassiev was just trying to wait and pick his spots, man. But I gave Lebedev round 6. Round 7, I gave to Gassiev. It was hard to score this round, but, you know, again, with the body language, Gassiev had the positive body language. Again, Lebedev was doing a lot of work. Gassiev was landing that good, hard, solid 1-2, the jab right hand, but the jab is like a power shot too. So it was like he was landing 2 power punches. You know, but Lebedev seemed as if his output, he had more of a higher output in this round, but I thought Gassiev landed the more telling shots, and I thought he landed a little bit more around 7, in my opinion. All right. So I gave Gassiev 7. 8 was very debatable. I almost scored this a draw, but I just edged it to Gassiev. Round 8. Again, Gassiev wasn't being very active, but I thought he did enough to win that round. I thought Lebedev was doing what he does, but, you know, with the circling and throwing the combinations and still being active and fighting on the back foot. But in my opinion, in some of these rounds, especially, well, I'm gonna get to that round, but you can tell that Lebedev, sometimes he was getting hurt, and instead of, you know, continuing to circle away from Gassiev's right hand, he was just kind of scrambling a little bit in a few of the rounds. He was hurt, and he has that ability. I texted to somebody, and they agree with me, but I think that Lebedev has that, he has that Juan Marquez in him, where he has that ability to be able to still fight effectively and hold together a decent defense and still fight you when he's hurt or tired. Few fighters have that in them, no matter how great they are, how great their jab is, or how much power they got. A lot of guys can't do that. As soon as they start swelling up and bleeding, the defense falls apart. They start to get exhausted, and they just completely fall apart as a fighter. You know, so he has that ability where he can fight when he's hurt and tired effectively too. So, all right. So yeah. So round 8, I gave to Gassiev, although Lebedev was fighting valiantly in that round. Round 9, I gave to Gassiev. I thought he was beating Lebedev up in this round, not to the point where he was knocking him down or close to knocking him down, but he was landing some good right hands, some good left hooks, some good power shots, man. And Lebedev, he was answering back, but I didn't think he did enough. Gassiev was landing just good, powerful punches, even to Gassiev's chest. He was trying to throw some right hands to his jaw, but the way that Lebedev was leaning back, avoiding the punches, some of the Gassiev's punches was hitting him in his chest, and he was able to take those shots, but they were telling, they were pushing him back. But I gave Gassiev round 9, okay? Round 10, I gave to Gassiev. Lebedev was landing shots, but yeah, then I wrote down that his circling, he was circling effectively, but it looked like he was scrambling a little bit. That's when he was getting hurt, and he had to just get out of harm's way, but it looked more like a scramble because, you know, he didn't really want to go to Gassiev's left because he was still getting beat to the body with that left hand. But I gave that round to Gassiev. Round 11, I gave to Lebedev. He was throwing combination punches. He was in and out. He looked stronger in that round. You know, he looked stronger in that round than me. Gassiev was letting some decent left hooks to the body go. Just wasn't being active enough. I thought Lebedev out hustled him, man. That's where that championship experience comes in, where you can out hustle a guy you've been here before. And this is something that Gassiev has never seen before, a fighter like Lebedev, because he was landing some shots that would have put a lot of guys to sleep. He landed some good left hooks and right hands that would have put guys to sleep. I mean, you can hear Gassiev's punches, man. They were phew, phew, phew. I was like, damn, motherfucker just sounded hard as hell, man. But kind of reminded me of when Donaire knocked out Fernando Montiel. I know that I bring that up all the time, but them punches sounded very hard that night from Donaire. But yeah, man, Gassiev was landing some good shots that would have knocked a lot of people out, man. And Lebedev's just a tough dude. I gave him round 11. Thought he out hustled him, man. And round 12, I gave it to Lebedev. Also, Gassiev comes out. He was being the aggressor for the first few seconds of the round. And then Lebedev was doing what he was doing all night, answering back effectively. And I thought he out hustled Gassiev again, just landing more shots, letting his hands go, going to the body, throwing combinations. So at the end of 12 rounds, I had it 6 rounds to 6. I gave Gassiev round 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. I gave Lebedev 1, 2, 4, 6, 11, and 12. But I gave Gassiev the fight 114, 113 because of the knockdown in round 5. I had it 10-8. That's what it came down to. In my opinion, round 8 was very debatable, very debatable. Few of the rounds are kind of, to me, round 8 was the most debatable round. That's the one where at the end of that one, I'm like, man, I just slightly edged Gassiev because I thought he hurt Lebedev a little bit more in that round. I thought he was a little bit more physical and effective with the shots that he was landing. But round 8 was debatable, man. But I had it 114, 113.